Saving in ZBrush is different from other 3D software out there, but once you understand how it works, it's very easy and you're not going to make any mistakes. The most common one I see people do is when they're saving is they are assuming that ZBrush is a regular 3D software, and they will go under document and they will go save and save as. Now this is something we never ever do. You will literally never save as a document like this. Let's see what happens when we do this. If we do save as document, and now we can just save this under folder here, and we can just save it here. So we can put this here and call this beast. So there we go. Now, if we want to open this file up now again, let's just initialize ZBrush. If we go to preferences, initialize ZBrush, it's going to restart ZBrush basically. It's going to delete all the stuff and we won't have any files again. So there we go. We do have to just go down and change the range as well. So let's open up the document now with the one we just saved, and let's see what happens. Okay, so now you can see that we are back to the 2.5D we had before. If you were to draw over this, you can see that we have this insane view where it becomes all nasty, but it's kind of responding to the depth of the document. You clearly see where this model used to be. This is because of the 2.5D feature we looked at beforehand, and you never ever save as this. I've seen this so many times where people are just to spend like 2 hours in the first sculpt, and now they're like, oh shit, I have to save. They go to document, save, and now everything is broken. The way we're going to be doing this is we are going to be saving this as either tool, or we're going to be saving this as a project. Make sure whenever you drag out your model like this that you hit the edit button as well, or you hit the T key to go in and out of edit mode. You can see here now that whenever we try to go out of edit mode, it's going to tell you, do you want to switch to 2.5D? And you're like, yeah, sure, I want to switch. But in reality, you never want to switch out of edit mode. You want to be in edit mode constantly. So we have two ways of doing this. The first one, like we mentioned, is under File and Save As. This saves as a project. And the other one is we can go under Tool and we can save as a tool. Now these might look very similar, but they're actually quite different. They do essentially the same thing, that they're going to save your work. Your work is going to be totally saved. But we have the concept of tools, like I mentioned. This is one whole tool like this. And if we were to take this and clone this a few times, now we're going to have different versions of this. So now you can see we have, we know that this is the original one because it has, it says I, but it has 10 here. That means there are 10 sub-tools in this. The other ones will only contain this. So if we want to save this one out, we can go to Tool and Save As. Let's see what happens when we are saving this out. So if we're saving this as a tool now, let's see what happens. And let's see what happens if we save this as a project. So File and Save As. And then we have this as a ZBrush project. And then we can, again, initialize this. I recommend you don't initialize a whole lot. This is purely so that we don't have to restart ZBrush for the video. Okay, so let's load in the tool for now. Let's see what happens. So here we go. Here is the tool. So what you can see is that first you have to actually drag out the model every single time, and you have to go into edit mode. Now this becomes second nature very soon, but there is one more step. And you can also see if we had changed the material here, it would have gone back to the default material. So we would have to change the material. And what we can also see is that all the other subtool, all the other tools here, like the eyes we just cloned, they are now gone. So this means that it will only save the currently selected tool. This is amazing and a curse if you don't know what it's doing. It's amazing because it allows you to very quickly clean up the file. Let's say you have a project like this where you just duplicate stuff around and you worked on this for like a few months and you have so much stuff here. But in reality, you only really care about this specific tool. Now you just go to Tool and Save As. And you will save only this. But on the other hand, if you have a bunch of different models here, like you actually need all these different tools for whatever reason, you're working on different models at the same time, then you want to save as a project. Let's see what happens when we now were to try to load the project we did. Just under File, Open, and let's load the project. So what you can see now is that this This would actually retain the materials. If we had this material, this would have saved the material. It saves the camera position, and you no longer have to drag it out as edit mode. But it also saves out the other tools here as well. So now you might be wondering, why aren't we only saving as project? Why we're saving as tools instead? Well, there are a few reasons for this. Most of the time, you really only care about having a single model in here. Like, you want working on your character like this, and you really only care about this character here. You can still have multiple models on it, like you can have the cape and you can have all these different things here, but in reality, you're working on one character, one prop, one environment at a time. The second one is that if you want to load in a model from another model into this, let's say we want to load in something from the other projects, one of the upcoming chapters. Let's say we want to load in the Dynamesh one. Now we can easily do this. We just go to Tool and Load, and now you can see that we also have the Dynamesh project, and we also have this one as well. So they're both in here at the same time. So this is amazingly useful, particularly when you are getting files from other people. Like I do this a lot where I have students and I'm looking into their ZBrush models, and I just have to load in their models. It just means that I don't have to replace my own model here like I do with a project. But also, it's just gonna make your file sizes a lot smaller dealing with tools. So I highly recommend that you stick with tools. There is though a way to get tools from projects. If you go under here to Tool, and then we have Load Tools from Project, you can get it in again. So if we go here and then we just load it in, it's still gonna load. It's gonna load all of them. There isn't an interface for loading just one, but you can do this. But this is where ZBrush gets messy. This is where, if you're working with somebody or maybe yourself, and they have a project like this, and you can have a case where it's like you have 1,000 of these, it gets incredibly messy. So whenever I'm working, particularly with students, I'm telling them to only work with a tool, and also just make sure everything is just cleaned up like this. So in short, you want to most likely, depending on your project, you most likely want to be working with tools and not as projects. So it's very easy to save and load tools right here. So as another example, if we hit the comma key now, we can go to Lightbox, and we can also just click it up here. We have projects and we have tools. These are just some pre-made tools we have. So if you want to load, for instance, the demo head, you have a whole series of your pre-made meshes. You can just click this, and it's just going to load this in here. You can load a bunch of different models in. So now we already have them in here. But if you load a project now, so you have some person who saves this project, and you were to load a demo head, it's going to be like, hey, the project is saved. Do you want to save your changes? And you're like, no, because you just want to load it in. And now it replaces every single thing here. And now you might have just lost a lot of work because you had to load in a project. So in short, save as a tool.